welcome to MatchDay Live. We are out here in Orlando. We're at the Camping World Stadium. It's the same location that we played our last group stage game against Juventus. That 5-2 win. What a match that was. But tonight, we face Saudi Arabian side Al Hilal. They finished second in their group, and we face them here tonight. A win would see us play Fluminense in the next stage. So fingers crossed for that. Now, we love talking about the weather here, and the weather, it's hot. It's very humid, it's hot, it's around 30 degrees. It rained a little bit this morning, but currently, pretty much blue skies. A little bit overcast, but we're doing okay. Hopefully it stays nice and dry for this evening's game. Kickoff is at 9 p.m. local time. I know it's very early for you guys in the UK. For the meantime, I'll pass you back to the studio. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Georgia. Let us not talk about the weather. We do not want to jinx it. As you can see, the Manchester City team have arrived. There is Ilkay G&uuml going into the stadium now. And, of course, the confidence is well and truly back. We are in the last 16. We were the only team with a 100% record in the group stage. So thank you so much for joining us on MatchDay Live. It's the last 16. We're playing Saudi Arabia's Al Hilal. And as you can see on the screen in front of you, it is a very strong team again. So just to recap for you, if you are seeing it for the first time, in goal it is Edison, and then it is Nunes, Diaz, Vardiol, Nori, Gundogan, Reinders, Bernardo captain, Savinho, Doku and Haaland. So 3 changes from the team that beat Juventus.
Very soon, and of course, a reward additional sense of picture.
A very good evening to you wherever you are around the world. It is currently 1 a.m. here in the UK, and this is now being renamed MatchDay Live After Dark. But wherever you are in the world, thank you very much for joining us. Because it is so early or so late, however you want to look at it here in the UK, we had to bring in some special guests that we knew could hack the pace. And so we are joined by Nicky Weaver and Andy Morrison. Good. Are we doing evening or morning?
Morning.
Good morning, gents. Now, before we talk about the football, I immediately need your secrets. So it is, as we say, 1 a.m. here in the UK. We're going to be going all through the game. Like I say, hopefully no rain delays, hopefully no extra time. But if there is, we will be here. Did you nap today? Are you just drinking lots of caffeine? What was the plan, Andy?
For me, it was to go home and have a nap. And I just thought I'd get a couple of hours, but I couldn't switch off. You know, whether it was thinking about the game or not, I'm not sure. But just went home, chilled out. A couple of Red Bulls and away we go.
OK, couple of Red Bulls. If I had a couple of Red Bulls, I would be shaking, Andy. I would definitely be awake. So, OK, your plan, Nicky?
Similar to Andy's, tried to have a little sleep after dinner, but couldn't quite manage it. So it was a bit hot as well. So yeah, just grind on through.
Yeah, that was my plan too. I did also try and have a nap. I lay down for an hour, wide awake, getting more and more annoyed with myself, thinking, come on, in like a few hours you're going to wish you were asleep. So, OK, we're going to grind through. And hopefully the football's going to be electric, and that, of course, will well and truly keep us awake. Because, of course, if they play like they did against Juventus, then I will not be able to take my eyes off the screen. Nicky, how impressed have you been with City so far in this competition? Yeah,
listen, it was sort of going into the unknown with this competition, been new. Obviously, the weather's caused a few issues for a few teams along the way, but yeah, I think City have, he's named really strong teams. They've prepared really well. Pep's obviously took it very, very seriously. It's great to see some of the new players getting blooded. Great for Rodri to sort of really step up his rehabilitation. So yeah, I think so far so good, and hopefully, we're not done yet and we can go all the way.
I don't know if you've been hooked on this Man City's social media accounts this week as well, Andy. I have been. They look like they're having the best time. They're doing yoga on the beach. They're playing football on the beach. They look like they're just having a wonderful big family holiday as well. And it's lovely to see. Yeah, it looks that way. And there's a lot of positivity around the camp. Whether it's the staff as well as the players. And there's a lot of love out there, for each other, talking about, how they're all bedding in together, how they're mixing, how they're socialising, away from the football. And it's great, you need that, especially when you're going to be away for, hopefully, best part of a month. You need to find different ways to keep players occupied, because it is quite, in between the games, it's a long period of time. Yeah, hopefully we will indeed be at the Club World Cup for a month. We are now out of the group stages, into the knockouts, onto the home straight. So, 5 teams. Little recap for you about where we're up to with the last 16. So 5 teams have already qualified for the quarter-finals. And most importantly for us, the game that kicked off earlier today, which was between Inter Milan and Fluminense, of course, of Brazil, who we've previously played. Fluminense beat Inter Milan 2-0. So we will play them in the quarterfinals should we win today. Then, if we get past that, we know now, because it's all mapped out nicely for us, it will either be Chelsea or Palmeiras, who we beat 4-0 as well in the last Club World Cup, and they're also from Brazil. It'll be one of those two in the semi-finals. Now, on the other side of the draw, thankfully, there's a couple of teams that we've stayed away from. So Madrid, Bayern Munich and PSG, all on the other side of the draw. So it's likely to be one of them in the final. So that is the state of play as it stands. But, of course, the most important thing for us tonight is that we are taking on Al Hilal in the last 16, hoping, of course, to make it through to the quarterfinals, which, by the way, should we win, that game is Friday night. That is an 8 p.m. UK time kickoff there, so much more civil for us all there as well. So that is Friday, should we get there, and then the semi-final is the 8th of July as well. Of course, should we get there, fingers crossed, everything hopeful. And, of course, we've also had some incredible goals this tournament so far as well. I mean, we've had some real screamers in this tournament. I mean, it's immediately a good couple of them are springing to mind. So we'd like to know, no sitting on the fence, you have to pick one, as do all of you at home as well. What is your goal of the tournament so far for City? So we've got 4. We managed to get it down to 4 for you all. We're going to be doing a poll on YouTube as well. So if you're watching on YouTube, have a little vote for your goal of the tournament so far. So the first one we're going to have a look at, this screamer of a free kick from Echeverry. Nick, what did you think of this one?
Fantastic, great execution. I'm not sure, me and Andy were talking about it before. I'm not really sure the goal. I think the goalkeeper must have been slightly unsighted when it was struck, but yeah, fantastic free kick. He obviously would have visualised what he wanted to do, and he's executed it. And I think it's just shaved the crossbar as it's gone in, and yeah, what a goal for the young man.
I think Nick's right in the goalkeeper's union there. It was shaved off the crossbar. Do you know, he might not. Come on, he's got to do better than that, surely.
Yeah, but I think it. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I think he's blinded by the wall a little bit.
Right.
And he seems to just sink onto one knee. I'm not sure what that's about. But listen, don't take anything away from the free kick.
No, great free kick.
It's not right in defence. I know what you're saying about it's not right in the top corner, but listen, it's still top free kick.
A goalkeeper sticking up for another goalkeeper,
Absolutely.
Andy? Really? Never,
never. No one else sticks up for us, Nat, you see.
Of course, we know.
We've had it rough all our lives, so we've got to stick together.
OK, let's have a look at the second goal that we've picked out for our goal of the tournament so far. This is scored by Ilkay G&uuml. This was the second goal in the Al Ain game. Of course, the first one we'd seen a minute ago. Some lovely footwork there by G&uuml.
It's a wonderful finish. I mean, from Bernardo, the weight of the pass is tremendous, but you just see Gundogan, he just takes it with his left foot and caresses it. The defender's going to give a penalty and take him down, possibly red card. And then you just see it here and there. That little touch there takes the defender out, and then the composure. You know, it really is a terrific goal just there. That's it. The defender's in all sorts of trouble, and then the composure just to make the keeper sit down and then clip it in. You know, it was a wonderful goal.
Brilliant finish.
Are you OK with the keeper there, Nick?
Yeah. Listen, he's made himself big. I think it's a great finish. Can't take anything away from Gundogan. And I think it's good to see the different angle there from the ref cam.
I really like that angle.
That we're not used to seeing, so might see that in the next year or two.
They've done some wacky things in this tournament, but I'm here for the ref cam for sure. OK, the third one that we have picked out is this goal by Cherki. He has said, "Hello everybody, I am here and this is what I can do." Let's have a look at this finish again. Bing! Nice, happy, having it.
Little training ground routine that you've seen, you know, the little step over. Just here, just let it go, a little feint, and then keep running. And then the weight of the pass is brilliant from Haaland. He's got to get that right. You can get that wrong. It looks quite simple, but you just see it. He just caresses it there with the outside of his foot. And then, you know, I'm not sure he's left-footed or right-footed, and it's a tremendous finish. Keeper's got no chance.
His movement in the build-up as well is lovely.
Really clever.
Yeah, like Andy said, it's straight off the sort of kind of thing you do in a shooting session, isn't it? You know, a little run, little dummy little run, and then a great finish, and he's drilled it right into the corner. And again, I don't think the keeper's got any chance there.
OK, let's have a look at the fourth one as well. And I think this is probably my favourite so far, not giving any secrets away here. Of course, this is Savinho's cracker versus Juventus. I saw that DAZN put up on their Instagram a really funny video where they slowed down the build-up to the goal and the amount of errors that were made, and then they sped it up for the finish, because what a finish.
And don't forget, that's with his wrong foot as well. Obviously, we know he likes his left foot. So I think sometimes when you're on your wrong foot or your weaker foot, you probably concentrate a little bit more on the strike, and as it comes to him, it's just head down, and I mean it looks even better because it's gone off the underside of the crossbar. So he'll not. Me and Andy were talking about it off air. He'll not score too many like that in his career with his wrong foot. But yeah, fantastic goal, and I think. You know, you said it's your favourite. I think it'll be a lot of people's favourite. But yeah, fantastic goal.
In the build-up as well, you can see, as the ball is coming out to Savinho, you can see Ruben Diaz shouts, shoot, or hit it, or something like that. And then he does, and it just rockets in. So that poll is open on YouTube now. You pick what your favourite of those 4 goals are. And hopefully by the end of the tournament, we're talking about some incredible other ones. I've said my favourite. Nicky Weaver, yours?
Savinho.
Savinho, yeah.
Yeah, Savinho.
Andy?
Yeah, it's a special finish.
We are all going for Savinho. OK, we're going to head over now to Orlando. We're going to get the thoughts of Ilkay G&uuml, who was speaking to DAZN's Alex Axel moments ago.
Ilkay, you've had a few days to reflect on that win against Juventus. You came on in the second half. Just how much belief did that performance give Manchester City?
A lot of belief. I think we have played so far some really good football. And obviously, you know, against a really strong opponent, having such an impressive performance gives you a good feeling for the rest, and hopefully we can repeat it today because that's necessary. We play against a really tough team to play, yeah, we want to continue the way we've played.
A start for you in a big knockout game. How are you feeling in the team personally?
Yeah, really good. I think I'm the oldest now, so that brings obviously responsibility with it, but also a lot of experience. So yeah, I've played several knockout games, you know, on that level. So hopefully I can contribute, you know, not just with leadership, also with the performance. And the group feels ready. We are really motivated, and we want to go for it.
You say you're expecting a difficult game. How much have you seen of Al Hilal, and what are their main threats, would you say?
I've personally seen a lot, to be honest with you, over the last few months, but then also in this tournament. I think they have individually some really good players, you know. I think they have an amazing manager that also has a lot of experience, and also experience playing against us as a group. So definitely, as I said, a lot of respect, and you know, a team not to underestimate. So we take it as serious as it could be. We will be ready for them, and I'm sure they'll be ready for us. So it's going to be a really, really good game.
Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that was Ilkay G&uuml speaking a little bit earlier, of course, ahead of our last 16 game in the Club World Cup against Al Hilal. And we got here by winning all 3 of our games, of course, in the group stage, including that final game against Juventus, that 5-star performance, that incredible performance that I think has got everybody very, very excited. So I want to have a look back at all 5 of those goals, and I'm sure you all don't mind. So, gents, let's have a look back at this Juventus performance, and I'd love to get your take and your breakdown on the goals and on some of the formations, some of the new players, the things that we saw in that Juventus game. So let's have a look now back at the goals. But for me, Nick, the general messaging, the general overview that I got from this game was just how confident and how slick City were looking.
Yeah, I mean, that ball there from, I think it's Aït-Nouri who passed it into Doku, isn't it? Fantastic ball. Defence splitting pass, and Doku's been terrific, hasn't he, so far in this tournament. He's really come to life, and yeah, I think the less we say about that one, the better.
You know, it's really positive. You know, it's a run in behind, pulls it across, and then, you know, you're asking the defender and hoping that, you know, you get a little ricochet or something. Unfortunate again. It's great movement again. There's passages of play before this that we don't see. But that's really clever, that little ball there, and then just the awareness to let it run, and composure again. And you know, this was obviously the.
I mean, Erling, to be fair to him, did his best to miss it, didn't he? He sort of bundled it in, and we've spoke about this one, which is, you know, this will be shown for many. It could be possibly the goal of the tournament.
Happy to see that one time and time again as well. Andy, you talked about some of the passages of play that you saw in this game. What stood out for you? What have you noticed that changed in this game for City?
Well, there's so much detail. You know, when we watched it, I did it with Ali, and it looks predictable, but it's so difficult for the opposition, Juventus. And this is a top team, and for us to dominate the way we've done, there must be something within the game that caused them so many problems. And I was thinking they need to go man for man around the pitch, but then, you know, that frees up Edison then to what we saw in 2 of the goals with the longer passes, which just opens up them. But the way that, if we're playing down the right-hand side, you know, if you look across to the left, Aït-Nouri is the highest player on the pitch, which allows then Doku to come in and create over overloads. We're 4v3, we're 5v4 all the time. And it's the ability to keep them pinned in. And when it's going down the left-hand side, if you look at it, Neves is the highest player. Savinho comes in, and it's so difficult to manage that as the opposition manager, to stop their movements, because they're just overloads all over, and you can't get close to people. You can't get tight, and whether Bernardo's dropping in between the centre halves and creating overloads, and then they're working their way up the pitch. And I'm watching it from a coaching perspective, thinking, how would I stop that? Very, very difficult, when ultimately, if you get the press on and you go 1-for-1, and then you've got Edison with his left foot who can put the ball anywhere, you know, it's very, very hard to stop. You know, and it was interesting, because I thought Juventus, you know, were a top team, but we made them look very, very ordinary. And I think 5-2 even flattered them a touch. You know, and tonight will give us a little bit more insight and idea just to how good this squad is.
I found Aït-Nouri's role so fascinating in the game, and looking at the way where he was positioning, where he was playing, and how that affected who was ahead of him, and the fact that because he was so wide, you had Doku and Savinho. At times, they looked like they were almost coming in that, like in a number 10 role, as opposed to seeing them hook the wings, which is what we've done previously. Yeah.
So who goes with them? When the wide men go in, the fullbacks can't go in there, because what ultimately then you're going to have your winger or your wide man for the opposition is going to be almost playing fullback. And it's just the questions that City continually ask of the opposition, and you've got to be incredibly brave. And you know, we're just watching the Doku go there, and we want to see more of that. You know, the ability to step inside and then find that sort of Mahrez finish, the amount of times we saw that. And I think that's the development and the next stage, because when that begins to happen and then Savinho starts to find the goals, we've got goals all over the team now.
Yeah, it's the whole game I found so fascinating in the different way that we were playing as well, Nick, and I found it really hard. And we often joke about who's going to play where, and we often say it, but particularly in this game, I found that in possession, especially going forward, every time it looked like it was like 1-2, you know, you never knew what formation was going to happen. Sometimes they were wide, sometimes they were in the middle.
Looking at a lot of Aït-Nouri's clips here, and you know, sometimes he's playing like a winger, the next minute he's like a 10, or like a second 10, and you know, he's there getting a shot off there as well. So yeah, it's nice to have, for me, Aït-Nouri, that genuine left back who can really attack. And are we okay?
Yeah, there was a fly there that just nearly landed in my ear.
And
I just suddenly heard a very loud buzz and it was in my ear.
But yeah, so going back to Aït-Nouri, I think he's been fantastic, and yeah, it's nice to have a genuine left back there. He seems a real Pep kind of player. He goes inside, he'll go outside, and I think he's the kind of player that other players will really like playing with, because you can trust him with the ball. Yeah. He can sort of wriggle himself out of some really tight situations. I've seen him quite a few times live, so I think he could be, you know, one of the best times we've made this summer. We've made some good ones, but yeah, he's been really impressive so far.
To have an out-and-out genuine left-back, Andy, and I know it's become almost a joke with City fans over the years that it seems like a position that's been neglected, or we've been able to find someone to fulfil a real left-back role. Now we've got somebody that's a genuine left-back, but can also fit into Pep's mindset of becoming an inverted midfielder as well. He seems ideal for us.
In possession of the ball, Nat, and you know, as a left back, you will always make sure we're secure the ball before you go and get involved. We've got to, but he's already high and wide. He's trusting that, you know, the extra, you know, the left-sided centre half will become the left-sided fullback, and then he becomes the wide man up as high as he can. The wide man comes inside to create passing lines in a 10 row, and it's just great to watch. And you know, so I wouldn't say that, you know, it's a conventional left back. It's not, because the difference of the recovery runs, you know, they've got to make recoveries. I think that's why Núñez has come into his own, because on the turnover of possession, when he's that high up the pitch, he is, you know, in the top 3 quickest players in the Premier League. So they're always recovering back on the turnover. So you're never really set as a fullback. You know, we can all get into a really solid shape and stop the opposition when it's easy in a deep block. But when you're having to make 40-yard runs back, and that's where we've been caught out a little bit, you know, through a period last season. But yeah, what we've got to do is master the ball and not give the ball away and make no mistakes, and then we don't get exposed. And that's, I suppose, the manager seeking perfection at every moment. You can see him in every detail in the game is about perfection. Make sure we get it right. We can't afford to give the ball away because we are exposed.
In that Juventus game as well, of course, we started with Omar Marmoush. Today, it's Erling Haaland that starts. Nick, for you, what is the difference in the way that we play when Marmoush is starting or when Haaland is starting?
Well, Marmoush is, listen, he's quite a willing runner, so he will run in behind, but he often wants the ball to his feet, where we know Erling, if there's any part of Erling Haaland's game, and he's one of the best strikers in the world, but is there any part that he does need to sort of improve on? For me, it's his hold-up play, his sort of link play. But he gives you more of a focal point. You know, he'll be right against the centre half. He won't come and join in that much. He will on occasion. He's happy to run in behind, and he just gives you more of a focal point for putting balls in the box. So we've just spoke about Aït-Nouri. You've got obviously Savinho, Doku. So you know, Erling Haaland will love to feed off. I've got a fly as well. Love to feed off those sort of players. But yeah. So but again, you're almost not weakening the team if you play Marmoush or Haaland. You're just sort of slightly tweaking it. And Pep will, you know, I'm sure there'll be changes today. Well, I'm sure we'll see Marmoush at some point, and he offers a slightly different threat. But yeah, both players, top players, and they've both had decent tournaments so far. You know, Marmoush towards the back end of last season scored that wonder goal, and I think
goal of the season.
Yeah, he was a terrific signing in January, and I think he's only going to get better and better the more he has time to gel with his team. So yeah, so far so good, and yeah, I think the future's bright at the minute.
Oh, the future is very, very bright, except for the fly that's flying around the studio, which has attacked me and Nicky Weaver. It's only you to go, Andy. It's only you. Maybe you have to shave. Who knows? You have to share it around. Now, in that Juventus game as well, we saw it in the highlights. There was, of course, a goal for Juventus, a goal for City that came from a Juventus player. It was, as you said, Nick, we might. Bless him. A little bit of a howler might be a nice way of putting it. And do you know what? An unfortunate own goal is not something that we have... it is indeed something we have seen at City many times before. So we couldn't let him be on his own here with unfortunate own goals. We managed to pull together some clips of our favourite unfortunate City own goals. And do you know what? I honestly forgot so many of these even existed. So... we're going to have a little fun. We're going to have a look back at some of these from our players gone by. So, Vincent Kompany was not always perfection. Andy, what do you make of this?
It's an incredibly wonderful finish, and I don't think you could have a million goals like that, and you're never going to do that again. You could go with the outside of your right foot, put it out for a corner, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because there's a bit of blood in his eye, so he just lost the line of the ball.
Took a slight bobble as well, I think.
Isn't it?
Yeah. It's just, like, I think it just bobbles on him.
Yes.
And but how it sort of drops in at that angle is unbelievable, really.
Jesus Navas was really trying as well, wasn't he? He's really trying to back his captain up there and get it out, but no. I don't remember this goal happening. I must have blanked out Vincent Kompany doing anything wrong ever. But some finish.
Absolutely unbelievable. He couldn't do it if he tried, could he?
No.
Now, of course, you know that we like to... playfully support some of our Matchday Live guests, and so we had to find an own goal from Jolien Lescott. So let's have a look at this one. So this is another unfortunate but still great finish.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, that one, when you get the shot and sends the keeper. The keeper's got this quite comfy. I guess you think it's a foot out.
I think it's going wide as well.
Well, it is going, yeah.
Well wide.
I think that, oh, it was.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, Jolien. Oh.
Of all the places to do it as well, Anfield.
Oh, that was Anfield, and Joe really tried to track back and help him out there. But no. We love you really, Jolien. OK, next up, it wouldn't be looking back at unfortunate own goals if we didn't have one from Richard Dunn. OK, well, your former teammate.
Yeah, Dunny's had a few, to be fair.
Yeah, I think
I always say, you know, he gets into great positions. He reads the game really well, so he's going to get exposed now and again. But this is a fabulous first touch on the half volley.
I think he just loses sight of it when he turns, doesn't he? And then he gets...
I love David James's face at the end there as well.
I love the opponent as well, trying to nick a goal and he get.
I think that's Robert Earnshaw. Yeah, he's seen another goal going on his name there. Oh, I think Richard Dunn got an own goal record in the Premier League?
Yeah, he's got. I think it's 10 or 11. Quite remarkable.
Because he always tried. Yeah. Always in
the right position. Yeah.
Yes. OK, we've got a couple more. I'm really enjoying this. Sorry, guys. I'm really enjoying this. OK, next one. This is one of the best finishes I've ever seen. This is Jamie Pollock. I think this is probably 97 or 98.
This is 98.
Oh, Nick, this is a world-class finish. Look at this.
It's a bit like Gazza.
2.
96. Yeah.
Actually cushioned it, hasn't he?
Yeah. He's done everything right.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's a great little clip.
And I think he got voted QPR's player of the century, I think, something like that. Because I think he obviously just about sent us down and kept them up, so...
Look at it. Oh, my... It's brilliant. I bet he'd never scored a goal that good in his whole career.
No, quite remarkable, and that's, you know, unfortunately for Jamie, that's what he's probably remembered, his time at City's probably remembered for most. So, yeah, really unfortunate for him and unfortunate for everyone because we ended up going down that year.
Right, we've got one more, and do you know what? You know who it doesn't feature? Andy Morrison, because we looked, Andy.
I know, you looked hard as well.
We looked hard.
Find one.
You never scored an own goal?
No. I got into good area, see. Good defender. I think Steve was saying earlier on, you're either a really good defender or you're very lucky. And I think I was a bit lucky because I did have a couple of shanks that balls have come in and I've lashed at them and they've gone over the crossbar. I got away with a few. That's for sure.
Yeah, Steve Howie is on co-commentary later. We also tried to find an own goal from him and we couldn't either. But we did find another one from Richard Dunn with a certain Nicky Weaver in net. So, Nick, what do you make? Defend yourself?
Well, I remember this, and Stuart Pearce went mad at me after the game, maybe obviously the manager, and he said, is there any chance of opening your mouth and communicating? And I'm trying to tell him I did, and he's going, well, we couldn't hear you. But there was one of the shot, I mean, it's a good finish from Dunny, to be fair. I think we lost 4-0 this game. Wigan, I think they had a Mielescu up front, they had a decent team. But I think it's the next clip, you can actually see me shouting, might be this one.
OK, are you shouting?
He's shouting.
Oh, I saw it, OK, I saw it.
And then Stuart Pearce, to be fair to him, he pulled me in the office on Monday morning and apologised to me, which was something that he probably didn't do that often. But yeah, because I thought I was a little bit harsh on me because I knew I'd called for it. Obviously, Dunny didn't. Okay. But yeah, he scored a few, Dunny, and I certainly remember that one.
So, Dunny scored a couple of own goals. Andy Morrison never scored an own goal, and near did Steve Howie, at least for City, that we could find. And Steve Howie is part of our commentary team this evening, alongside Alistair Mann. So, let's go over to them now. Steve, did I get it right? Did you ever score an own goal?
I didn't in any of the teams that I played for. I know there's a one that's a kind of did he, didn't he? I have asked for different angles, but there isn't any defining angles to say that I was an own goal, but I'm going to go no. As Andy was sort of saying there, I did mention the fact that you've either got to be very lucky or just be in the right place at the right time, but 100% there was loads of times when you've had a kind of a slash at the ball, if you want, and it's just gone past the post or the goalkeeper's pulled off a really good save, but still managed not to actually score one.
There was that occasion that is quite legendary when, didn't you have a training session against nobody and managed to concede a goal? What was all that about?
Yeah, that was at Newcastle, and the manager was just trying to give us a training session where we just felt a bit more comfortable, and we're playing on a full-size pitch and not playing against anybody. And the premise of it, the premise is called shadow play. So the two centre forwards take the kick off, pass it back to the midfield player who's got to hit it out to the left or right wing. The winger goes down the line, the fullback overlaps him, he plays him in, he crosses it, and the two centre forwards, whichever the one the ball comes to, finishes it into an empty net. Then you walk back, go the other side. And what we did is we took the kick off, went back to the midfield player, then the ball went back to the centre half. Now, bearing in mind, we're actually going backwards and we weren't playing anybody. And then the ball went to the right back, and the right back, in all of his wisdom, decided to pass it back to the goalkeeper, who was in the back of the goal, put his gloves on, and we were getting beat. Not only was it an own goal, we were getting beat 1-0 and not playing anybody.
Well, that definitely kind of counts, that's for sure. Let's see if there's going to be any own goals tonight. We shall see. Let me give you the Al Hilal lineup, which we haven't given to you so far. And there's quite a few names that you'll be very familiar with, including the goalkeeper, Bunu, who was a long-time Sevilla goalkeeper. And, of course, he starred for Morocco as well in the Qatar World Cup. Of course, you'll spot immediately Joao Cancelo at fullback, who left the Blues, of course, for the Saudi Arabian League. They brought in the captain, Cano, who has had to come in because of an injury to their usual centre-half, who is injured today. His name, Al-Tambakti, he's unavailable today. And then they've got Koulibaly, ex-Chelsea, Renan Lodi, who've had a brief spell at Nottingham Forest, Al-Dawsari, Ruben Neves, of course, a long-time Wolverhampton Wanderers midfielder, the Brazilian Malcolm, Milinkovic-Savic, who was for a long time at Lazio in Serie A, Al-Harbi, and then the Brazilian Marcos Leonardo. That is their 11. They've had to make changes today, 2 of them because of injuries, and the most significant absentee for them is their most capped player, 98 caps, Salem Al-Dawsari, who is unavailable. He picked up an injury in the last game. He's also their captain, so a big loss for them that he is unavailable this evening. Well, of course, we already know, Steve, that if the Blues are successful tonight, they will face Fluminense, but they're against a team clearly with a lot of experience within it.
Yeah, I mean, you've just read out the team there, and there's obviously a few of those players that people back home watching the game will be fully aware of. And I'm pretty sure they'll have some players as well that you maybe not aware of. That'll be very good players. You know, they're not here for no reason. I know Pep has been very complimentary about them, you know, with players that can hurt you, but obviously very good defensively and a really good goalkeeper. So this will not be an easy game by any means. But when you look at City and how they've played these 3 games, and the kind of difference from last season as well, and those signings definitely have helped. You've got to say City are favourites, but ultimately they've still got to go out there and put in that performance.
One thing that was notable, and they're in the same stadium, of course, against Juventus, was the heat, which I know it's later in the evening, but still baking hot, still very close, still very humid. Will it be significant if City can dominate the ball tonight?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the ball goes faster than anybody. So it's important that you have possession of the ball and make the ball move. I mean, I've played in it. I'm pretty sure the lads in the studio have as well. And there is a big difference. And to be fair, these lads, you know, the team that Man City's playing, they're kind of used to it as well, playing in Saudi. So there is that kind of, they've got that going for them. But at the same time, as I said, if you've got possession of the ball and you're passing it and moving it, then that makes it a lot harder for them. You know, if they're working so hard to get the ball back, when they have got it, that's when, because you're a little bit fatigued, you're going to give the ball away. So I think possession is a huge part of the game today.
Just one final thought. I mean, look, let's not get carried away. Let's not even look too far in advance. But City will know that Inter Milan have been surprisingly knocked out by Fluminense. They would have expected, if they could win tonight, to face Inter. Does that just add a little extra buzz to the players? Are they going to be thinking about the fact that if they can get through that, it's not Inter Milan waiting?
Well, it might be slightly on the minds, but I think, you know, the lads being the players that they are, they'll just be a case of, listen, we just have to concentrate on tonight, get the job done tonight. They know it's going to be a tough game, but obviously if they get through that, then they have got a game which, again, they'll fancy themselves. But at the same time, I just feel as though the way that Man City are playing at the moment and the way the camp is, I know it was touched on again, I think, by Nat and Andy, about the sort of the camaraderie they seem to have, you know, with the stuff that they're doing off the pitch. Seems to be working really well. But as I said, they've got a job to do tonight, and I think if they play the way that they can play, there's only one winner.
OK, the thoughts there of Steve Howie, who's alongside me on commentary duty. Remember to download the app. It's available on City Plus. The commentary throughout the game, and we'll bring it you, even if it's extra time and penalties. Myself and Steve will be there. Let's go back to the studio, and we can join that.
Right, boys.
So just 24 days after victory at Fulham, City are back in action as they open their FIFA Club World Cup campaign against Wydad.
I feel amazing, top of the charts. Everyone I walk past, feeling the spark. Yeah, you heard about me, word of mouth. Now soak it in, baby. Check me out.
Goalkeeper carries and Foden scores. And City are in front inside 2 minutes. It's the ideal start. 2-0, Jeremy Dokken. They have begun their FIFA Club World Cup campaign with a 2-0 victory. What a sweet finish from Ilkay G&uuml. An absolutely magnificent goal by Claudio Echeverri. Ilkay G&uuml, the master finisher. To Bob, and Bob in the penalty area makes it 5-0. Little dummy from Haaland. Cherki hits it into the net. Ryan Cherki scores his first City goal. They've swept away Al Ain by 6-0. The Blues, of course, already assured of a place in the knockout stages. Their target to top the group. Aït-Nouri, lovely ball to Doku. Doku in the penalty area. 1-0 City. Brilliant Aït-Nouri. Even better Jeremy Doku. Reinders tries to find the pass and he has. There's a man over. Haaland will make it 3-1. That is a wonderful City move. It was just perfect football.
Haaland in front of Foden. It's surely going to be in. Phil Foden. Oh, you can't legislate for that. It's a thunderbolt. Savinho.
City have been quite simply outstanding tonight. They will top Group G, and the Blues really do look a genuine possibility to go deep in this competition.
Yes, they did indeed top the group, and now we are through to the knockout stages. It's the last 16. We're taking on Al Hilal. It is a 2 a.m. UK time kickoff. It's currently 1:37 a.m. and we are rocking on here in the studio. No signs of any tiredness because we are so pumped up to see what City can do in this last 16 game. And of course, taking on Al Hilal. Now, there is names aplenty in this squad and in this team that you will recognise. Before we talk about some of them, we just want to mention the manager, because you might not know, I missed this until the start of the tournament. So, of course, Al Hilal's manager is now Simone Inzaghi. You'll, of course, recognise that name. He used to be the manager of Inter. He was the manager when we played them in the Champions League final, and he was the manager of them when they got beat by PSG 5-0 in the Champions League final only a few weeks ago. So he left Inter on the 3rd of June, and then on the 4th of June, he was named manager of Al Hilal, signing a 2-year contract. His first game in charge of Al Hilal, a 1-1 draw with Real Madrid. Andy, if anyone knows how to play us, it is indeed this man. Absolutely.
So impressed in the Champions League final. I was fortunate to be there commentating on it, and I thought they did a magnificent job on us. You know, just the detail of the back three, when to pop into the 10s, the movements, like, and the how they dealt with our overloads. They were exceptional. And then obviously last season, you know, I think of the first game of the new format, which was, I think it was 0-0, was it? Am I right? Yeah. And again, they were excellent. And so, you know, he'll go into that game thinking, you know, of course, they've got egos, the managers. You know, he wants to get one over on Pep. He wants his team to set up. But I'm not sure that they're used to the intensity and the relentless nature of the Premier League and also of Manchester City. I'm not sure they'll be used to that on a weekly basis. So this could be a new thing for them.
They do, of course, have players littered throughout the starting 11 and the squad that used to play in the Premier League. We're going to go through a couple of them now. So if we're looking at the defence, he starts today, of course, Koulibaly. You know him from his one season at Chelsea. I mean, I was surprised that he didn't stay longer at Chelsea. He's 34 now. He was at Napoli before he went to Chelsea. He's also the captain of Senegal, and he was the captain of the Senegal team that recently beat England, which he said was one of the highlights of his career. A lot of praise as well for his performance in that draw that they had with Real Madrid. Nick, even though, you know, he's 34, but he is a serious defender.
Yeah, I remember him at Chelsea. He's a no-nonsense defender. And yeah, like you said, I'm surprised he was only there for a year. But he's obviously captain of his national team as well. Big beast at the back there, but can play as well. Been around the top echelons of the game for a long, long time. And yeah, he'll be relishing it tonight against. He'll like the physical battle with Erling Haaland. Let's hope he comes out second.
The exciting thing about that, Weaves, is Erling will be up for it as much as him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? Because he's got that about him as well, Erling. He knows that this is a big, strong defender who's going to attempt to bully him like they all do. And he seems to thrive on that. And I love watching it. You can see it in his eyes. He smiles at them when it gets physical, you know, because he wants to get involved in it. And you need that energy about you, you know, because Koulibaly will dominate you if you allow him. He will be quite happy to bully you throughout the game, you know, because he's a real physical specimen. But, you know, Erling's shown time and time again that he just thrives on that.
But there's not many that dominate Erling Haaland, is there?
No.
Because because he'll keep going, and he will get a chance, and inevitably he scores that chance. So that'll be a good duel tonight.
Oh yes, I'm very much looking forward to that battle tonight as well. So other names in the starting 11 that you'll probably recognise: Ruben Neves, who was formerly at Wolves. I mean, he was at Wolves for years and years and years. He's only 28. He also plays for Portugal. You might recognise recently, if you watched that incredible Portugal versus Spain final of the Nations League, it was phenomenal. He scored the winning penalty for Portugal. We know him very well from his time in the Premier League at Wolves as well. So, I mean, another player with a lot of Premier League experience, perhaps a surprise move when he went there.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's only 28. It seems like he's been around forever. He's been part of an impressive Wolves team for a long time. Seen some of his best bits here, and as you say, he's an experienced Portuguese international. So yeah, he probably gone there at his peak really well. A lot of players tend to go there, like Koulibaly, when they get into right to the end of their career, but he's gone there right in the peak of his career. So, you know, that just shows the intentions of Al Hilal, and yeah, he's a top player, sitting for many, many years in the Premier League. So yeah, we'll have to be on our toes to keep him quiet tonight as well.
And he'll know our Portuguese players, and our Portuguese players will know him, Andy.
Yeah, he's, you know, it's like I said, at 28 years old. I mean, these are not just like run-of-the-mill Premier League players. These are top players. And obviously we're going to go on to mention the next one. But, you know, these are established players that, you know, are going to thrive in this game and want to prove themselves and show that they're still rightly should be playing at the very highest level.
And if there's anybody in this game that's going to want to show that they should be playing at this high level, or indeed show what they can do to a former employee, it is, of course, João Cancelo. He spent 4 seasons at Manchester City. He won 3 Premier Leagues, an FA Cup and a League Cup. And, of course, he had that stunning assist. One of the best assists I've ever seen in real life there for Erling Haaland. So let's hit it straight off with the old football cliche, Andy. What's it like when you're going back to play against a former club? I mean, João Cancelo is going to be pretty pumped up today, I imagine.
Yeah, he is. I mean, and again, we've had lots of niceties over the last couple of days. You know, Pep's talked very fondly of him, and he's talked about his respect for Pep. You know, and I think it is. You know, sometimes there's a professional line that you don't cross. You talk about, you know, fondly about that. You don't want to say that you know you've left with any bitterness or whatever. But it did genuinely sound sincere. That they're both very, very respectful of each other and the parts that they played, and Cancelo to talk about Pep and as the best coach he's ever worked with, and he's at a different level. I thought it was really, really warm to see that, and you know, and he's got to take a lot of credit for that. But you know, on his day in the final third, he's exceptional. And that you know, that ball that we've just seen there for Haaland, he plays that ball a lot with the outside of his right foot. He'd rather do that than cross it with his left foot. And he's got the art. It's a wonderful quality to have. And also goals and assists in the final third. You know, I mean, it was always his defending, and you know, made some sort of like crazy decisions, like recovering runs to give penalties away, and bookings and sendings off. But, you know, in the final third, and you know, as good a fullback, because that season when, you know, when he kind of broke in and everyone said that, you know, who's this? He was magnificent, you know, and it was regarded as the best fullback, you know, in world football for a period.
Yeah, he really, really was. I have very fond memories of some of the performances that he put in his time here. Nick, do you feel a little bit nervous about playing him today? Or how do you think we'll quiet him?
Listen, I think we'll dominate the game like we normally do, but he'll definitely want to get one over on us. It's just a natural thing when you're playing your old club. Obviously, he spoke warmly about the club and about Pep, which you're going to do pre-match. But deep inside, he'll have that fire in his belly to want to do really, really well. And they've got some dangerous players. But listen, it's a game. You know, City have been really impressive so far. So it's a game we expect City to dominate with the ball. They still can be vulnerable to the, you know, quick counter-attacks. But yeah, listen, if they take the chances like they have done, and dominate like they have done, then hopefully it should be a comfortable win. But they have got some dangerous players, and João Cancelo will definitely be up for it.
One dangerous player that they do have who is injured for this game, because Mitrovic, another name you'll recognise from the Premier League, he played for Newcastle and Fulham as well. He scored 47 goals in 51 league appearances in his time in the Saudi Pro League. There's also been lots of rumours of a Premier League return to him, but he is injured. He is not in their squad for this game. So it is around about 15 minutes away from the last 16 game against Al Hilal. Of course, you can watch the game for free on DAZN. And you can, if you want to get our commentary with the wonderful Alistair Mann and Steve Howe, you'll get that on the Manchester City app. Now, we are here in Manchester 1:45 in the morning, but we know loads of you have travelled to the States to support the team, including Luke Stanley, aka MCFC Lads. He's been keeping us up to date with his time out in the States.
This is one of the most insane football games I have ever been to, ever. City took on Juventus in Orlando and it was 38 degrees. We were prepared in every way possible. We knew it was going to be a crazy experience. And the sun was out for a while with a few clouds. We made our way to the game. Every opportunity to cool ourselves down, stay hydrated, we took it. We made our way to our seats, of course, and the players made their way onto the pitch. We were ready for kickoff in what was actually quite a big game. City needed to beat Juventus to win the group, and we were off. The game started. It was looking really good. City scored early, but then actually did concede straight away. Juve made it 1-1. We decided to get some food, and it was lucky food. We scored straight away, and it was a water break. Things were so hot, the players had to have a water break before, out of nowhere, this storm turned up. The skies went grey. The temperature dropped.
This is crazy, man.
The raindrops were so big, everyone got soaked straight away, and in true American fashion, everyone wanted the game cancelled. To be fair, the rain stopped quite quickly, but I made my way onto the concourse for just 2 minutes. I wasn't getting soaked. I got myself a drink and then headed back out. City led 2-1 at half-time, which was decent, and it was crazy to see the chaos the rain had caused. In the second half, we relocated, and it wasn't just raining, but it was raining goals for Manchester City. Full time, it's City 5, Juventus 2. We've absolutely blitzed the group there. Smashed them, to be honest, from start to finish. Doku got us a really nice goal. They equalised straight away, and then there was like a mad storm after we got the second goal, which was an own goal. The weather in this country is just ridiculous. It's like a light switch. It just goes from nothing to pouring with rain. And it was so hot at the start of the game, and then, to be fair, it's not actually been that bad, but the storm was mad. Second half, we got 3 more goals. Foden, Haaland and Savinho, which was a great goal, to be fair. But we're into the round of 16. We'll be back at this stadium, actually, in Orlando for the round of 16, so we're going to get used to it, and then potentially again after that. So, yeah, it's been great, to be fair, the Cup up to now. 3 wins from 3. Smashed the group, smashed Juventus. And like I said, we'll be back for the round of 16, up the Blues.
Thanks to Luke Stanley, aka MCFC Lads, although I wish everybody would stop talking about the weather. I feel like somebody is going to jinx this weather. It is all fine right now. Now, we're going to hear from our manager, Pep Guardiola. He was speaking a little bit earlier to DAZN's Alex Aljo.
Pep, just the 3 changes to your starting 11 today. What made you go with this team for the knockout game tonight?
The decision, nothing special. Could play the other 11, 12 players that we have here. So I took that decision. It's always the same.
What a performance it was the last time you played here at this stadium. How important to build on that now and keep the good momentum going?
No, the players know it. When we play in that level and many aspects, we can compete, we can be a good team. But in football, like in life, we have to do it again and again and again. So hopefully we can perform well and go through.
What are you expecting from Inzaghi's Al Hilal side tonight?
Well, they use in the Saudi League to be dominant. It's a team with so the players to go to Saudi is because they are good. They have maybe good contracts, but they are good. They don't bring players that they are not quality, and there are many of them. And always expect the best for our opponents, but focus as much as possible what we have to do.
What is the message to your players tonight? What are you going to be saying to them before they go out?
Nothing, be ourselves, to refine ourselves again and again, and you know we're playing for, to go the next step.
Thank you so much. Good luck.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. That was Pep Guardiola speaking to DAZN's Alex Aljo. So we are about 10 minutes away now from tonight. this morning, we said morning, didn't we? We agreed on morning. This morning's 2 a.m. UK time kickoff against Al Hilal. We are going to be seeing, again, some of the new signings. Some of the new signings that, of course, in the Juventus game made us extremely excited. So, of course, Tierney Reinders in that Juventus game, or indeed in all of the group games, I thought was absolutely phenomenal. He starts again tonight. Andy, I'd love to get your thoughts on the impact that Reinders has had so far in the team.
Yeah, I think he's been fantastic. It's a different aspect he's bringing, the forward runs that he makes, and it stretches the opposition, and we're always trying to create space. Teams get into this deep block against us, and there used to be half spaces, but they're not even there anymore, So we need people breaking into the box, trying to stretch, to create openings for the other people to play in. There was 5, 6, 7, 8 runs that the players didn't see. But again, that as it builds, as the weeks go on, the players, we saw when Marmoush first came in, he was making runs in behind and then kind of stopped. But I think what I've seen more and more, balls being played forward, I've seen more and more crosses go into the box. And when you put balls into the box, you need somebody alongside Haaland just to attract a centre-half, just to create one-on-ones. Because if one's in the front space and then Haaland's marked, it's very difficult. But if one of our midfielders, Gundogan's done it for many years, but his energy and his pace to break in there, and it's very aggressive in his runs, and been so impressed with him, and comfy in possession of the ball, and a complete athlete as well.
I think he's a really elegant player, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's really easy on the eye. He never looks rushed. Everything's unhurried. Looks like he's got loads of time on the ball. Like Andy says, he can make those runs, but he can also sit at times as well. Yeah. He's been really impressive.
They're
so
explosive
far.
runs, Weaves. They're not token efforts. He's not just making a gesture that's no, they're positive. Purposeful. And they're aggressive. Yeah. And it causes problems for the centre-halves wherever they want to go. Because if the timing's right of the run and there is space in behind, massive problem for centre-halves to deal with that.
So he's starting again today, very exciting. Of course, we already mentioned Aït-Nouri a little bit earlier on. We had a great cameo as well in the Al Ain game by Cherki. We've not seen too much of him yet, but has he excited you so far?
Yeah, I think he's going to be an exciting player and also a frustrating player at times. I think you're going to see certain things from him that are incredible, but I think from the brief bit we've seen, I've seen bits online as well, probably that consistency that he probably lacks in his game at the minute, but if he can find that, he's a super talented player, and he's going to score some amazing goals and do some amazing things, and he's the kind of player that gets fans off the seat. Hopefully he finds that consistency and is a real success, because he's perhaps a little bit more maverick than Pep would normally go for.
I love a maverick.
Yeah, we all do. I've got to agree with Weaves on that. It's a great word, maverick, because he's done a couple of things on the pitch and you're like, oh, stop it now. Because it's unbelievable what he did. There was a little moment where he rolled the ball with his right foot and then he flicked it with his left foot through the legs and ran away with the ball. When Thierry Henry is talking about him, waxing lyrical about just how good this lad is, then, I think we're only going to see more and more as time goes on. But there are little things he's done, and you're just thinking, that creativity, that De Bruyne ball that's slightly different that other people can't find.
He's a game changer, isn't he?
Absolutely. And Haaland will be looking at people like that, I think, just give me chances, give me opportunities.
So it's 5-6 minutes away now. They have started the light show in the stadium of the player announcements, which I have to admit I'm not a big fan of yet. I like the ref cam. I don't like the player announcements. I don't like the superior player of the game. I like the ref cam. That's where I am so far. So with a couple of minutes to go, gents, Nick, give me your final thoughts. What sort of game we're going to have?
Hopefully it's a good one from City's point of view. I think they're going to dominate possession. We're going to create chances. It's all about taking them chances. So far we have done in this tournament. If we can do that, I fancy a comfortable win. I'm going to go for 3-0.
Oh, yes, Andy?
Yeah, I've got to echo what Weaves has said, really. I think if we're clinical, we're going to have 20+ shots, and probably 10 of them will be on target. If we convert 5 of them, I'm going to go for a 4-1 victory.
Oh, crikey. OK, right. Well, I hope so. That'll be a lovely evening. It'll definitely keep us nice and wide awake here. You can see the player walk-ons going on there. I wonder what I can't wait wait to hear from them after the tournament about what they thought about these player walk-ons. So thank you. Andy, thank you so much for being here tonight. Nicky, thank you very much as well. Thank you to all of you that have joined us on MatchDay Live, especially any of our UK viewers that have stayed up to this time as well. We greatly appreciate you. You can watch this game now for free on DAZN, as you can all of the Club World Cup games. You can also get your commentary on the Manchester City app with Alistair Mann and with Steve Howie. We will be here at half-time. We will be here at full-time, where hopefully we are talking about City reaching the quarter-finals in a game against Fluminense. So everything crossed, 3-0, 4-1. I'll take either of them. Thank you so much for joining us on MatchDay Live. We will see you at half-time. We're going to go over now to our commentary from Alistair Mann and to Steve Howie.
Thanks, Natalie. Well, it's become a